Can the SoundPEATS T2 really claim the title of best budget true wireless earbuds? How are they different to SoundPEATS' other buds, and what is their secret weapon? Well, we'll be finding out shortly, so I'll throw affiliate links in the description below if you want to check their price in real time, as you never know when they might change. I bought these with my own money, so let's see if they were worth it or not. I'm Mark, and I'm back to let you know what's worth buying before you buy it, so let's get into the review. Look, I know that we don't always agree on everything on this channel, but I think we can all agree that the SoundPEATS T2 make absolutely zero effort to stand out from the crowd, especially when compared to any of SoundPEATS' other buds. However, they do win back a point here for being indisputably more pocket-friendly than your average buds, but despite looking pretty generic and feeling very plasticky, the case, as well as being light, actually has a neat little design quirk. So when you place the buds back into the case, shut the lid, two blue LEDs will indicate whether the left, right, or both earbuds are charging. This very simple visual means you'll never go to use your buds only to find that one bud didn't charge due to the dust and dirt forming around the contact points in the case. So that's the case, but what about the buds? Well, the buds are also bland as bland can be design-wise, and despite the case being super compact, that does not extend to the buds. They are the thickest buds out of anything I've ever reviewed so far without question. But fortunately for us, this is counterbalanced by the fact that the drivers don't actually extend too far into your ear canals. They're actually quite tight to the body of the buds, but I will save talking about fit and comfort until round 3. So what do I rate them out of 10 for build and design? It's going to be a 7 out of 10. Clearly I'm feeling generous today. In the past, I would have said that the T2 were absolutely fine for the price, but these days when the Earfun 3 Pro are available for the exact same price with a better build, smaller buds, slightly less generic design, I can't really say that the T2 make a lot of effort to outdo them. Apart from when it comes to IP rating, the T2 have an IPX6 waterproof rating. But how long do they last? Well, when it comes to battery life, SoundPEATS claim 10 hours in a single listening session and 30 hours overall with ANC off. But with ANC on, we're getting 8 hours in a single listening session and 24 hours overall. How does that compare to the competition? Well, here's some battery life figures from other budget buds around this price for comparison. During my real world testing, the T2 actually fell short of the claimed figures by around 30 minutes overall, which isn't anything to be too upset about. As you can see though, with ANC on, these figures are still very competitive around this price point. So I'm going to drop an 8 out of 10 for battery life, losing a potential point for lacking wireless charging, which again, you can definitely find at this price in 2021. But how do they fit? Well, to test these for fit and comfort, I whacked these in and I went for a dog walk / dog run. And during the walking parts, they were absolutely fine, comfortable and secure the entire time. However, as soon as I started running, I felt some very slight movement in the buds, which caused them to wiggle loose a little more and more over time. Namely because the buds sit mostly on the outside of your ears, yet have no wingtips to keep them secure. I can't really rate these for anything more than a light jog, which is why they get a 6 out of 10 for fit and comfort. They're very comfortable and don't exert too much pressure on your ears, no real ear fatigue after an hour and a half of listening, yet they could have still been so much better here. It's very rainy, it's very windy, and I thought, what a great day to do a mic test. So that's what I'm doing right now.
We've got the SoundPEATS T2 in, up. They're not perfect, so we're going to do a few comparisons and see which buds are the king of microphone quality under $100. Granted, we're only going to be testing 3, so this isn't a definitive answer or anything, but we will be putting these head to head. So next, I'm going to put in the SoundPEATS H1, which out of the H1 Sonic and the T2, I'm pretty sure we'll have the best mic quality. So we're going to do those right now. And here's a mic test of the SoundPEATS H1. I have to admit, it's been a long time since I tested these and reviewed these, so I can't really remember how good they are in context of buds that came out last month. But you listen and let me know in the comments what you think. But this isn't the last pair of buds we're going to test. We're also going to test the Earfun 3 Pro, which is currently my benchmark for pretty decent mic quality in budget true wireless earbuds, to see if the T2 can beat them, or if the H1 were actually better all along. And here are the old faithfuls, the Earfun 3 Pro. Now, as I always say, I'm not saying they're perfect, but we've got a bus going past, cars going past, it's fairly windy, maybe not right this second, and hopefully you should be able to hear me better than the first two buds I've tested. The SoundPEATS H1 sounded pretty good, a bit quiet. The T2s, now not as sounding as great as I first thought they did, but I'm going to get back in the studio, give these a real thorough listen, and then let you guys know which I think is the best mic quality.
I have to say, the H1 just seemed to offer a little more mic clarity overall, and now I would happily crown them the winner here if it weren't for one thing. They're still not on sale yet. They were supposed to ship in December via Kickstarter, blah blah blah. They still seem to be on pre-order. I mean, it's like 5 months later. So I'm going to forget about those and drop a 6 out of 10 for the T2. I had heard good things about the mic quality here, but it didn't really come close to besting the Earfun 3 Pro at all. Though, of course, in a quiet environment, all three do just fine. Okay, it's time to talk functionality and usability in round 5. Straight off the bat, we've got Bluetooth 5.1. And I haven't had any connection issues so far whatsoever. However, audio codec wise, we're lacking the aptX adaptive audio codec, low latency gaming mode, both of which you'll find in the SoundPEATS H1 and Sonic, which does mean minor visual lag outside of YouTube and Netflix, namely when smartphone gaming. Looking towards the bright side, we do have great touch controls at our disposal here, with the ability to control volume right there on the buds themselves, as well as being able to toggle ANC and ambient mode on and off. As the buds are pretty bulky, it means you can freely adjust their position in your ears without having to worry about accidentally triggering the touch controls, something which, trust me, can easily become very annoying very fast in smaller, more fiddly buds. Okay, so far it's not looking particularly great for the T2 in this round, especially when compared to SoundPEATS' other models. However, the T2 still have a secret weapon. The ANC and transparency mode here is seriously next level considering their very affordable price. These are one of the first budget buds I've tested to actually come close to the likes of AirPods Pro and even Sony's XM3 buds in terms of ANC and ambient mode performance. At this price, that's just stupid. Switching ANC on does enable a little audio hiss with it, though it is very minor, but all in all, the difference with ANC on or off is like night and day, and I honestly cannot say that about any budget buds with ANC that I've tested so far, where more often than not, the ANC was just better than nothing. At this price, the ANC and ambient mode is a full 10 out of 10, but given their other shortcomings in this round, it's going to drop that to a 7 out of 10 overall. I'm guessing that ANC and ambient mode is going to be their strongest feature, with maybe not a lot else to come, but we'll still give them a chance and see how they compare to the competition where it counts sound quality. But of course, before we dive in, make sure you're following me on my personal Instagram and Twitter if you fancy a look into my life outside of YouTube. Well, that sounds really interesting, doesn't it? Links are in the description below for those. Don't forget to hit subscribe before you get lost in the YouTube algorithm, and let's dive right into my take on sound quality. So there's a little bit of a hiss with ANC on, but with ANC and ambient mode off, there's barely any audio hiss here, which is a great start. The sound profile here is V-shaped. I'm sure you're not surprised to hear that, but not too aggressively so. Bass is warm and punchy, lacking a little in the deep rumble department, but still packs enough thump to get your head nodding when listening to genres like rap or EDM. Mids are pleasingly present, resulting in fairly balanced vocals and main melodies, whilst highs are emphasized to the point that they're pushed forwards enough that they can be heard, but without becoming too piercing or harsh during, say, the onslaught of heavy rock music. Overall, I have to say, they do handle a wide range of genres surprisingly well. How do they compare to the SoundPEATS H1 or SoundPEATS Sonic? Well, you're definitely going to prefer the T2 if you're not a fan of really thick, overbearing deep bass, because both have a priority on exactly that. So the T2 is a little bit more balanced, but still offers enough punch that you're still going to feel that bass. I'm awarding the T2 a solid 8 out of 10 for sound quality. They're definitely up there with some of the best at this price, and I can highly recommend them to those of you looking for a slightly less bass boosted experience when compared to SoundPEATS' other buds. Their sound profile is actually somewhat similar to the AirPods Pro, which does sort of hit that middle ground that will please the majority of casual listeners. Final score time, the SoundPEATS T2 scored a 42 out of a possible 60, which is a 7 out of 10 overall. The pros are excellent ANC, exceptional in fact, and ambient mode, a rare balanced sound signature, all squashed into a compact case. The cons are a generic design with bulky buds resulting in an average fit at best, at least for me personally. No aptX or better, no wireless charging, and average mic quality when you're in a busy environment. Without a doubt, these are the king of ANC in budget buds under $100, but not the king of budget buds under $100, if that makes sense. Namely because they just missed the mark when it comes to fit and mic quality, design. They have a lack of aptX, which is a shame, though not a huge deal breaker. But overall, if ANC is your priority and you're into a bass boost that isn't too overbearing, then I can highly recommend the T2, which has some of the best active noise cancellation I have ever heard in budget buds. Now you've watched this video, you definitely need to watch my review of the SoundPEATS Sonic by clicking here, or you can check out my review of the buds that never get released, I don't know where you'd want to, the SoundPEATS H1 by clicking here, which are really good, they just don't exist. So click one of those and I'll see you in the next video.